So let's talk about the basics of implementing emotional regulation. This is what this module is about. Okay, so in order to manage our emotional regulations, our emotional responses, we must learn how to manage them. And how do you manage them? Well, you take a step back. That's the first thing. The second thing is learn now to respond calmly. Learn to not react. Learn to give calmer responses. Because when you give calmer responses, the quality of your relationship improves. Rather than screaming, yelling, shouting, reacting, give a calmer response. That's the first thing that you can do. Now, the second thing, in terms of emotional regulation on a practical sense, is to pay attention to how you're feeling. When emotions are on the surface, when they're about to arise, pay attention. Okay, what's happening to me? Am I boiling up? Why am I getting angry? Okay, I can feel I'm getting very uncomfortable. I can feel I'm about to explode. Okay, hold back, walk off. Don't put yourself in environments where you'll get easily triggered. First of all, understand, okay, you know what, I'm getting heated up. It's best I don't say nothing until I can regulate myself, until I'm calmer. Then, once I've gone away and I can come back to the situation in a calmer state of mind. The other thing in terms of practical steps that you can take is to journal your emotions. Journal what triggers you. Journal environments that trigger you. Journal situations that trigger you. Journal people's responses, words they may say that trigger you. Keep a diary, a journal, so you know you can reflect, you can ponder back on these notes and think, okay, this is an area that I need to work on. Okay. And monitor yourself. Because if you don't monitor, anything that doesn't get monitored doesn't get progressed. You have to spend moments in reflecting so you can refine the way you come across. Because if you don't do this, if you don't take time out, you'll be more anxious. You have a lot more depression. You'll be depressed, sorry. You will have a lot more stress. So you have to take time to develop your skills. All right. So we've listed a few things, practical steps that you can do. Also understand what triggers you the most. There's things that will trigger you generally, but there's other things that will trigger you the most. Understand them. Understand, hang on a second, why am I triggered? Why am I easily triggered by this? What have I associated to this? I'm triggered because of what's happened in the past. That's why I'm responding from the place of the past in the present. Now that might come across a bit mumble jumble, but what I'm trying to say is this. Usually when we respond to a present situation, we're responding from built up things that have happened to us in the past. So for instance, if someone has taken liberties with you, if someone has taken so much advantage for your wealth, for your time, for your health, for your kindness, then when someone comes along, you're quick to react, you're quick to distrust, you're quick to dismiss, you're quick to belittle, you just don't have it anymore. You don't have the patience with people, you don't have the tolerance, you don't have the understanding, you're just not interested. But you're quick to react, you're quick to get angered, you're quick to just get frustrated. Hold back. Take a personal inventory. Make a list of these types of situations. So you're aware, okay, now I understand that this person, it may not be the person that's triggering you. It may be the words that you've linked references to from the past. It could be, say, for example, someone's called you stupid. Now, the word stupid may not be that offensive, but if there's history behind stupid, so say, for example, someone who has meant something to you dearly has called you stupid, and they've said it time and time again, and they try to belittle you through that word, when someone else says it, it triggers. You get triggered because you're referencing the past. So be observant about these types of triggers. Your situation, your circumstances can impact your responses, can impact your mood. That's why that you have to be mindful. And in order to be mindful, in order to think, hold yourself back. I'll delve deeper into the deeper about this in the next video. But these are just some basic things to be aware of. And then the other thing is this: developing coping strategies. Okay, so you've taken the first step. You've identified what it is that triggers you. You're in sync with understanding, okay, what's happening to you internally, the way that you're feeling. Now, let's look at coping strategies. You've understood it. You know what's going on. You know what triggers you. So now what? What can you do? Breathe. Learn to breathe. Take a step back. Breathe. Calm yourself. Not like this. Take meaningful breaths. What do I mean by meaningful breaths? Each time you breathe with calmness. Breathe with the intention that you're calming down. Each time you breathe, calm. Let calmness flow through you even more and more. So each time that you're taking deep breath, you're calm. You're calm. At first it might seem a bit fake, but the more you practice it, you'll start to believe in it. And when you believe in it, then things will start changing. The way you see things, the way you react, and the way that you respond. Take time out. That's the next thing that you can do. Take time out from the situation. Look for things that can really calm you down and make you feel good. Because maybe in your life you're too overstressed. You're not doing things to put into your system to make you feel good, to make you more optimized. And what does that look like? That means either reading a book, something educational, something empowering, something like physical activity. You know, go out for a walk, go out and exercise. These are the types of things that you can develop, coping strategies. Do things that will make you feel good as long as it's not harmful and it's not harmful to others, in a positive way. Do things where you're putting back into your system. Okay, so let's now look at effective communication. Communicating effectively. So what does that look like now? When you're talking to your nearest, dearest ones, whether it be your spouse or your child or your children, be vulnerable. Learn to be vulnerable. Because the only way that you'll develop true strength is to be vulnerable with the ones who are closest to you. And be aware about being open in terms of age appropriate. Because sometimes you could be open about really personal things and the person who you're telling it to may not be at the appropriate age. Your child may not be old enough to understand what you're going through. So choose wisely who you want to open up to and how much you want to open up to. And when you select that person, embrace feedback. Embrace it. Because sometimes it might not be the best things that you want to hear at that time, but it'll be the best for you. And embrace active listening. Learn to listen more attentively and actively. What does that look like now? Don't interrupt when they're talking. Let them have their own space. Let them talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about. You're just there listening, taking, observing, understanding, reflecting, learning from them. And what you'll tend to find is you'll find so many answers that you may have had inside your head, questions, indirect answers from the conversation. You'll be surprised, without you speaking, how many answers come out of the conversation when you don't speak. As long as you're searching with the intent of understanding and improving your situation, improving yourself, you will find answers in every single conversation that you have with people. So this is how you could communicate more effectively. And then when you're demonstrating calmness, you're emulating positive behavior, and they will respond and react better towards you because of the fact that you're setting the example, you're setting the pace, you're setting the tone. And in active listening, it means give them your attention through your body language. Look at them, embrace them, have feedback. Don't just be passive and go, okay. And don't be sarcastic with your facial expressions. And when you do speak, make it meaningful. Make it really thought out. So these are just a few things that you could do to improve and communicate effectively. And in terms of building a support system, don't be afraid or ashamed to seek support in terms of helping you to move forward, helping you to communicate, helping you to build better quality relationships. And this means reaching out to someone who you can trust to build a relationship with, someone who will give you feedback coming from a place of that they genuinely care for you and concerned for you and want to see you do well. And also look for like-minded people like yourself. Reach out to other fathers, learn from them, learn from their mistakes, get feedback, and just continue in the endeavor of learning by reading more books, attending workshops, just skilling yourself up for life. If you are really serious about improving your relationships, these are the types of things that you have to do on a daily basis, on an ongoing basis throughout the rest of your life. If you really want to see results in the quality of your relationships, if you really want to see results in the quality of your mental well-being, if you really want to see the quality of results in your life. Life is about emotional reactions, because each and every single situation is going to get you to either react, respond, either in a positive way or in a negative way. And if you want the best from each situation, you must train yourself, first of all, to be silent, to understand, to reflect, to think. Secondly, to get the skills, knowing how to deal with each situation. And that's going to come through time by reading and listening to things and learning from others, because that will teach you a better way of dealing with things. So therefore, you got tools, you got skills to deal with each and every single situation appropriately. You won't get it perfectly, but at least you can minimize damage. Yeah. So this is why it's so important to learn how to emotionally regulate yourself. It's a lifetime investment, and it's an ongoing process for the rest of your life. If you want quality of life, this is what you have to do. You have to put the work in. Why do we put the work in work, but not in ourselves? Why do we put the work in other areas, but not in our relationships with people? Because if you have rubbish relationships, you think that you're going to grow successful? You think you're going to have peace of mind? You think that you're not going to suffer from depression or anxiety or stress? Because it's the people that cause you the stress. It's the people that can cause you to break down. It's people. And what do I mean by people? I mean, if you come across a certain way, they're going to mirror that behavior, and it's going to come back at you. This is what I mean by people, because people are reflections of your behavior at that present moment. It's a bit deep, but work has to be done.